Hello my friends and welcome. Katie here with Eastwick's Paper and Ink. Thanks so much for stopping by my channel. Today's video is a collab with my friend Cyn over at Stampin MunchKins. We are doing some beginner alcohol ink backgrounds. Now Cyn is total beginner, she said. She's never worked with alcohol inks before, and believe it or not, this is only the second time I've worked with alcohol inks. If you're familiar with my channel, you know I did a video last month in June, a collab with my friend Tara on some tips and tricks with alcohol inks. And I can link that up above, down below, and at the end, so you can check that out as well. But today's video is for both of us. This is the second time. This is her first. And so I'm going to use some of the things from my tips and tricks video, which is that Lazy Susan. I've got my little condiment blower tool. I'm going to be using some heavyweight vellum and this Dura-Bright White from Graphics. I did use that in that collab video I did last month as well. And the price you see on there is $12.99. I picked this up at Hobby Lobby a while back, and the price is that. You can't use your 40% coupon on that. But it's really, they brought it down to where it's quite affordable. So we're going to jump in, and I'm going to speed this up because this is kind of a long video, and it's a bit repetitive. So for the vellum, you see that I have it taped down to a piece of cardboard. Vellum warps, curls, doesn't matter what you do to it. So you got to tape it down. And the purple tape is just cheap low-tack tape from Amazon, nothing fancy. But I've taped it down, and for beginners, you don't have to worry so much about perfection. It's really just learning how to put the ink down and how to manipulate it, right? So the biggest thing you got to worry about is your color combinations so that you don't create brown, unless of course you want to. But you can see here, I'm just using 91% isopropyl alcohol and the ink, the alcohol ink. So if you have blending solution, you can use that, and it's in the alcohol's place, the rubbing alcohol's place. But I just put a bunch of alcohol down. In fact, initially that's what I started with the vellum, and then I put some ink down, and I used my blower tool to move it around. Now, if you want to learn how to do like the wispy, ethereal technique, check out that video I did on the tips and tricks, because that's where I show you how to do that. Now, for this, I had some background, some cards in mind, so I wanted to have the vibrant colors, the big punches of color, and basically less white space, because with the ethereal look you're getting more white space, whereas this you're not going to have very much white space. And all the colors and everything that I'm using will be listed in the description box below, so you can just watch and see the magic happen. Now again, I wanted dark, punchy, vibrant colors. Now this, I guess, isn't really that vibrant, but it kind of is. It's, it's bold, I guess is the better word I'm looking for. Bold colors. And so here's the piece of vellum. So these are the other pieces. I had cut them down, and this is the little strip that I had left. And I'm going to use the Simon Says Stamp Beautiful Flowers 2 stamp set. Now on my sticky grid, you can see how curled up that vellum is. There's nothing you're going to be able to do for that not to happen. But I'm going to use a single flower from that Beautiful Flowers 2 stamp set, and I'm going to be using some alcohol lift ink. And what I found with the lift ink is you want to do it twice at least, and that you want to let your stamp sit on whatever, sit on the alcohol. Don't be in a rush to lift it off. Let it sit, count to 10, let it sit and really penetrate that ink. And that way because you're going to have to clean your stamp in between. But this way, 2 stamps of the lift ink and you're good. It should lift plenty of the ink off to where you get a nice vibrant image on your panel. And you're going to see that here as we go along. So this was the first one, and I cleaned my stamp and I'm buffing it off, and then I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to stamp it again. Now the thing with alcohol inks and doing this, it is going to stain your stamps. There's no way around it, but it doesn't hurt them. I use the Simon Says Stamp Ultra Clean to clean them. Here, or it's Ultra Clean will work fine too. So it will clean everything off, but it's just going to stain. But so here, and I'm going through and I'm adding that on. I don't usually wait when it comes to the alcohol inks because I don't want it to damage the stamp. But so here you can see that second stamping was perfect. It really, and it's hard to see because it's already kind of see-through and you have a white background, but it came out nice, and that's the back side, so you can even see that there. So for the second panel, I'm going to be using the Sizzix 3D embossing folder, the snowflake embossing folder, and I'm taking a piece of sandpaper and I'm going to scuff off the ink. Now you're not scuffing off the plastic, all you're doing is taking off a layer of ink. So you don't need a heavy hand, just enough to bring that white back out from the embossing. And I do this with 2 panels, and I go ahead and I wipe off that excess. I don't know that that was necessary, but this is the larger floral image from the Beautiful Flowers 2 stamp set, and on that really dark bold background that we did. And this you definitely want to do twice, and because this was so saturated with ink, I was able to get a second generation on a piece of cardstock, and you're going to see me show you that there in a second. But there's so much ink on there, I just didn't want to waste that by rubbing it off onto a cloth. And here I'm just adding that, and I just put it right over the top of my panel, and that's that second generation. And this is the second stamping after I buffed it off. So again, the key is let your stamp sit on there for a minute. Now here are the Essentials rectangles from Ellen Hudson. These are some products I'm going to use to finish up the cards. We've got Birch Press, we've got the Greetery, we've got more of those. I'm going to make some inlaid frames for the card panels. I'm going to be using some sentiments from these stamp sets that I'm showing you. And the card bases are all Nina 110 pound Classic Crest Solar White. And here you totally see, I don't put that on straight. Terrible. But I'm going to show you in a little bit how I fix that. And I used spray adhesive to adhere that. You could use double-sided tape, you know, just like a big piece, but the spray adhesive was a lot easier. But again, you know what? You use that even with double-sided tape. You know what? It's a one and done. You ain't going to move that stuff. So I'm going to show you how to fix that. Now for the thanks, that's the Sugar Script, small Sugar Script die from Birch Press Design. And here I'm just burnishing that down. And it is the die cut, the sentiment is 4 layers deep. So 3 layers of heavyweight white cardstock and one layer of that silver craft stock from Tim Holtz. Now, I told you I'm going to be doing some inlaid framing for the card panels. I'm only going to show you once. So I just took one of the dies from that rectangle set from Ellen Hudson and cut the panel. Now the panel gives you 2 frames. So you get that outer frame that I'm working on now, and then you get that little skinny frame, which is the silver one that I'm putting in. Now, all I did, it's all in one. So I went and cut a piece of silver cardstock and discarded that floral piece that, you know, came out from that initial cut. And that's the best set. I'll tell you, I'll probably own every one of them. They got the rectangle, they got the circles and the squares and the ovals, I think. And I'll probably will invest in all of those because they're super, super easy. But the Hey Love is from Cyn Says Stamp. That's a die from Cyn Says Stamp. And again, all the sentiments are 4 layers deep. I like that chipboard look. I really think it just adds to your sentiments, your die cuts, when you layer them up like that. And so 4 layers deep, 3 layers of white cardstock, heavyweight white cardstock, and then the top layer is the silver craft stock from Tim Holtz. And this panel I did in the collab with Tara. We just did backgrounds. We didn't do any cards, and so I had this panel, and it was my tester for that snowflake embossing folder, and I just loved how it turned out. And so the Joy die cut is from Cyn Says Stamp as well. Again, 3 layers of white and 1 layer of silver. And I'm going to show a close-up of these cards with the sentiments in a few minutes. And this is the Fabriano Black Black. That is my favorite black cardstock. And I embossed the sentiment with Brutus Monroe's silver embossing powder. And that sending die is from the Greetery. They have a little set that has like thinking of, just for, and so I took it from that. Again, 3 layers of white, 1 layer of silver. And I'm just burnishing those down to make sure all that is adhered. Again, silver frame for the inlaid frame. And that's the panel I did. So these are all the cards. And here I'm going to show you how I fix my mistake, not you, me. And so I just cut some Fabriano Black Black, and with that inlaid frame, one of the inlaid frames, I took 2 different ones. So I took this smaller one and put that around, and then I take another one that's a little bit bigger, but not quite as large as that card base, and adhere that, and you wouldn't even know that it's not even, because it just draws your eye differently. It's perfect. So we're coming into the end, my friends. So now we're just doing the inside, and I'm using some StazOn Piano Black ink. And for this sentiment, that's coming from the Christmas Wishes, and that's May Peace Be in Your Hearts and Home This Christmas. And then I don't know if I do the other Christmas one. Okay, yeah, so the other Christmas one is, the outside sentiment is wishing you tidings of joy, and then the inside says this season, and that all came from the Hero Arts stamp set. And then for the tidings of comfort and great joy, the sending one is from Comfort and Joy stamp set from Cyn Says Stamp. And then that thanks, all those inside sentiments came from the Beautiful Flowers too. So I've got one that says for always thinking of me, and the one that says hey love, it says you mean the world to me. And so these are just some up close of the card, but that's going to finish up the card for me today, the cards for me today, guys. I hope you enjoyed the video. Please go check out Cyn over at Stampin' MunchKins. I just love her. She's the greatest. And show her a little bit of love too. So hop on over to her channel. Don't forget, like, share, comment, and subscribe. Ring that bell to be notified every time we upload. And I want to thank you all so much for joining me today. I hope you have a fantastic day, and I'll catch you in the next video.